Roadmap 2015. I'm Benga Ashiru. On the highlight today, we'll be looking at the build-up to the People's Democratic Party primaries for Adamawa State Governorship by-election, which comes up on September 6 for the governorship election holding on October 11 also this year. We'll also be looking at the governorship aspirants and how they have been canvassing support for the PDP tickets. One major issue that is generating serious controversy is the issue of waiver. 14 aspirants are jostling for the PDP Adamawa governorship ticket for the residual tenure of 5 months before the February 2015 polls. Now, bookmakers are saying the residual tenure is likely to give whoever emerges as the winner a head start for the 2015 general elections. Interestingly, 3 of the PDP governorship aspirants are seeking for party waivers to make them eligible to contest for the party ticket. Interestingly, 3 of the PDP governorship aspirants seeking for party waivers to make them eligible to contest for the party ticket have all been granted waivers. The aspirants are the former EFCC boss Malam Nuri Badu, who just recently defected from the All Progressives Congress to the PDP. Now, and also we have former military administrator of Lagos State and Borno State, General Buba Marwa, and former ACN candidates for the 2012 Adamawa governorship election, Engineer Marcus Gundiri. Now, we will take this background report on the build-up towards the PDP Adamawa governorship primaries.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has scheduled September the 6th to hold the governorship primaries ahead of the Adamawa State by-election that has been selected for October 11 this year. 14 aspirants of the party are contesting in the primary election that is expected to produce a candidate who may replace Murtala Nyako, who was impeached from office last month. However, considering the influence that each of these aspirants has in the state, National Organizing Secretary of the party, Abubakar Mustafa, advised aspirants to be peaceful and abide by party laws.
We are all one family under the umbrella PDP. So when the 14 aspirants go into the field, it's very clear only one would emerge as candidate. So if the remaining 13 are convinced that the primaries are just, fair, credible, and transparent, they will now know that the people have spoken and therefore God has spoken.
There have been fears in some quarters that the presidency and some PDP chieftains might be supporting the former EFCC boss, Malam Nuri Badu, but it was reliably gathered that some aggrieved aspirants are considering taking the party to court should they grant Malam Nuri Badu a waiver. One of those also not in favor of granting waiver to Malam Nuri Badu is Chief Edwin Clark. It describes Malam Nuri Badu as a serial ingrate with no electoral value, accusing Malam Nuri Badu of leaking the reports of the committee which he chaired to the public before submitting it to Mr. President. Now, some have also argued that granting Malam Nuri Badu a waiver, having just returned to the PDP a few weeks ago, would encourage party indiscipline and also dampen the morale of other loyal party members. Now, Section 50, subsection 9 of the PDP party constitution provides for waiver for those who are yet to spend mandatory 2 years of party service to be granted only by the National Working Committee. Malam Nuri Badu has also responded to the objections that has trailed his governorship ticket bid. It says he was invited to join the party by some leaders of the PDP. While the bid goes on, we shall be hearing from some of the aspirants, but now we'll be starting with General Buba Marwa. His selling point seems to be his military background, which is expected to give him a head start in tackling insurgency in Adamawa State, which is currently under state of emergency. He insists he is entitled to a waiver going by the party guidelines.
People have seen me at work in the old Borno State as military governor, that is present Borno and Yobe states, and also in Lagos State in the southwest. And they want me to replicate the service.
Now, one would say it's a different ball game, a different reality altogether, because you were a military administrator of the old Borno and even Lagos State, and now you will be taking away the military toga, and also the situation in Lagos and Borno are now different from what we have now Adamawa is a state under siege and state of emergency. So what difference now would you be bringing into the sphere of things?
The difference is actually minimal. As they say, the cloak does not the monk make. It's not because I was in uniform that we made the achievements that we recorded. It's simply the character, the propensity to work, the capacity of the individual, his credentials, his sincerity, his commitment, and the efforts he put into the work itself. These are the things behind Marwa: the fear of God, the fact that he has a trust on him for the people. This is how we looked at governance, even in uniform. And we will repeat the same by the grace of God.
Now, we have reports of a high-level alliance in favor of Malam Nuri Badu and plans to get him defect to the PDP to run for the Adamawa governorship poll. Are you in any way disturbed with these developments?
No, I'm not. Absolutely not. The beauty of democracy is to open your hands and let everyone come on board and let the people choose. And this is what President Goodluck Jonathan is about. Let the people make the choice. We watched what happened both in Ekiti and in Osun. Senator Mishore definitely gave a good, gallant fight, but he lost. And the president did not interfere. People expected or thought that the thousands of security forces that were assembled were intended to crook the results in favor of the PDP, which was not the case. So we are quite comfortable.
Adamawa is one of the states in the northeast under state of emergency. So what would you say is responsible for this insecurity challenge in Adamawa states?
As it happens, I have been a student of counter-revolutionary warfare for over 30 years. In fact, in the Staff College, my thesis was on counter-revolutionary warfare. I have a deep insight into this phase of war, that is insurgency. There is a perception, talking of causative factors now, there's a perception of injustice always, throughout history. Insurgents and revolutionaries have always had a perception of injustice from the ruling government of the day. I use the word perception because the injustice may be true or not true. Now, the issue is injustice how? Sometimes they feel between the haves and have-nots, they are being cheated. Some feel that the government ought to be doing A, B, C, D. They are not, but stealing their money, abusing trust, and so on and so forth. Lack of jobs, feeding becomes a problem, housing, education, healthcare. These are the issues, religious intolerance in some cases. So when you go into the whole issue of insurgency and counter-revolutionary operations, causative factors, they revolve around these factors. Now, I myself, as military governor of Borno State, faced a slightly different situation, but no less similar in terms of the processes. When I was appointed military governor, the president of Chad today actually came into power at the same time, 1990, by force of arms. He chased away the then president, his son Habre, who made good his escape, but not with his soldiers. The then Chadian army had nowhere to go since they have been driven away by then rebel President Dabi now. What did they do? They entered Borno State, Borno Yobe now, with their arms. And there was a spate of banditry, terrible killings, maiming, seizures of villages, and so on and so forth. Quite similar to what is happening at this time. We faced up to it and dealt with it. So I have some experience in these matters.
How do you intend to tackle this problem?
One thing I will not do today in camera is to tell you exactly what I plan to do, but I can assure you that I have a plan.
Now, Channels TV also had a close-up with Honorable Awal Tukaro Honorable Tukaru is making his third attempt to clinch the party governorship ticket for Adamawa State, though he is not seeking for waiver, but he says he is ready to abide with whatever decision the party comes up with. Honorable Tukaru maintains that having served in the Federal House of Representatives, his wealth of experience and credentials are good enough to win the party governorship tickets.
I wanted to see what I could also give back on the executive arm, which I started in 2007. And I am determined. I feel I have something to offer. And I have not been deterred on my quest to lead my people. So, like you quite rightly said, this is the third attempt under my party. And we'll give it a good shot and see how it goes.
Interestingly, you are one of the aspirants that would not be needing a waiver for this PDP primaries for the Adamawa by-election. Do you see this as a political advantage on your own parts?
I've been a foundation member of the PDP. I won't even say we joined the PDP. We were part of the formation of the PDP from the 1998. So certainly, I don't need a waiver because I've never, for 1 second, left the party. So it is an advantage in the sense that we've been long-term members there. We've nurtured people within the party. We've nurtured relationships. So yes, if by that you mean is an advantage, certainly. Those needing waivers are those who have come on board within 2 years or have left the party and come back again. So I'm, quote unquote, lucky in the sense that I'm not a returnee. I'm a foundation member of PDP, and I continue to be a strong member of PDP.
Now, unemployment is a huge factor in Adamawa State. What would be your intervention plan if given the chance to become the governor of Adamawa State?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. We're primarily agrarian society. The statistics show that 80% of our people are engaged directly in the agriculture. Now, that's a huge absorbing body. And my programs and views are that in the rural areas where we have huge agricultural potentials, tap them. There's not much been done, unfortunately. I'm a farmer myself in many ways. In my own private capacity, I'm even a vice president in AFAN, the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. I work a lot now with outgrowers and people out in the villages. And I've seen the direct impact. Working under the agricultural transformation agenda and this GES program, I'm part of it. I'm working with it. I use it. And believe you me, I've seen how resources are multiplied to the farmer directly. And I've seen how lives have changed. And if we continue at this rate, and if I get the privilege of being the governor and using the focus of government, these zones of unemployment, I tell you, in a few years, are going to be zones of prosperity.